everyone, and welcome to the recap for July 13th. Thank you for bearing with me. We had a huge heat wave last week and it was absolutely hot and miserable inside and outside. So I'm feeling better. I'm feeling nice and cool out. It's a nice cool morning. So let's get right to it. At Scott's, Lucy has important news for him. He says he's very busy and she's like, no, not too busy for this. I want to get my nice headband in there. I made this. So she tells him that his father is gone. Serena called her. She was there when it happened. She didn't want him to find out over the phone. Scott calls Serena. He left a message for her. Lucy took the day off so she could be there. He immediately starts to go drinking, and Lucy is very concerned because of, the family thing. So he feels that he was a disappointment to his father his entire life. She says that he loved him, but Scott feels all he did was take advantage of him and take him for granted. And then there's a real flashback and at an argument they had, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't. I love flashbacks more than anything in the world. Lucy won't let Scott rewrite history. Yes, he wasn't perfect, but it was a long time ago, and that's not the total of who he was. He changed after Serena. Everything with Lee, who's his father, melted away, and he loved Serena and was proud of Scott. At General Hospital, Amy asked Bobby advice on marriage, and it's not the kind of information that Bobby is comfortable giving her right now. They don't have that kind of relationship. Bobby finds Carly and tells her she's headed to talk with Felicia now. Stealth mission time. Bobby tells her to play it cool, and Carly is ready to outplay now. Because if keeping it cool is part of a plan, then, Carly has no problem with that. But if keeping cool is just for, the goodness of everyone, then that's not gonna happen. At the floating rib, Felicia is inviting Nathan to all these things because, idle hands. Apparently, Maxie is concerned. He wishes she'd have told him that. Felicia tells Nathan that Maxie thinks he's keeping something from her. He gets a call from Amy right then and just ignores it. He assures her there's nothing going on. Bobby comes in and Nathan's like, yeah, I need to leave. So Felicia tells Bobby no to the no plan. She thinks this is a mistake. She doesn't want her alienating Michael. Let Michael live his own life, Back at General Hospital, Amy gives Nathan the proofs from the photo shoot. He wants to keep their public appearances minimal so nobody will figure out anything. And these photos will be the end of Ask Me on Landers. But there's one more thing to be the face of the brand one more time. Her brother was approved for this surgery and she has to leave for a little bit. She's going to have no income, so she arranged for a gig, an interview for him to do as Ask Me on Landers. And he says no. She says that, she'll help him through it, She begs him and he says, but then where would it end? We do this, we do, it's too much. It's only going to get more and more as things progress if we don't, stop it now. So she says that they'll figure something out. And he tells her to wait, how would this work? How would it work? And she hugs him and he's gonna do the interview. So at the park, Sunny wants to talk to Jocelyn. And, oh, one second, I swallowed a bit. Sunny wants to talk to Jocelyn and Oscar inserts himself into the conversation and I'm like, dude, no. But, then I realize that Oscar doesn't realize who Sunny is to Jocelyn or who Sunny is at all. So, he's trying to do the right thing. So he gets his phone out and he's recording and he's if Sunny doesn't leave, then, the story going along with the video is basically that he's harassing Jocelyn in an inappropriate way. And at first I had a problem and then I realized, oh, he thinks he's doing the right thing. So Jocelyn tells Oscar it's okay, this is my stepfather, and Oscar's like, oh, your stepfather, who's the... Oh, and he apologizes, and Sunny's like, you know what, Oscar? You did the right thing. He was thinking smart and taking action on Jocelyn's behalf, and how can he fault him for that? So now, the good news. Jocelyn's dad, JAX, you don't know that. Why am I explaining that to you? Her dad's issues with the State Department have been resolved, and he can come back whenever he wants. So Jocelyn is glad, but she's not letting him off the hook because she still can't visit him this summer because of what Sunny did. Sunny apologizes again for her getting mixed up in this. He cares about her. So he says he'll always have her back, and he leaves. So Jocelyn is stressed out about what happened. Oscar was scared to was scared once the reality of the situation kind of made itself known. She doesn't need him sticking up for her. Morgan gets brought up. He was really spontaneous, like Morgan was, and this, that, and the other thing. At the Metro Court, Michael comes to see Nell at the Crimson Lobby, I think. I don't know, we've never seen it before. It's very fancy. So Nell wants them to be careful here because there's no reason to push it in Carly's face. They're on her turf. So they sneak out of there, but they run into Carly. And he says he's taking Nell to lunch and holds her hand and invites Carly to lunch with them. And I'm like, oh, honey, what are you doing? And she says she can't. She has an appointment. And oh my goodness, the tension. So Michael thinks there's some progress because Carly kept a cool head. Good job. So Sunny comes in and is talking to Carly. She tells him about the lunch, and he picks up fast that, she's playing them. And Carly's just putting her family back together. That's all she's doing. He tells her about JAX, and then he brings up Oscar, and Carly's like, wait, Oscar? At the Floating Rib, Michael and Nell come in. Felicia tells Bobby she will help once Bobby thinks it over and makes a final decision. Felicia leaves and Bobby watches Nell and Michael at the table. So Nell thinks that they should go and Michael doesn't want to. She leaves the table momentarily and Michael goes over to Bobby. So Michael respects her feelings and Carly's feelings about Nell that they're totally entitled to have. And again, the cringe, but whatever. And Bobby immediately digs into Nell. So Michael sticks up for her. He feels if anyone should understand, it's Bobby and Carly. Why shouldn't he forgive Nell when they had so many people forgive them? Well, because it was them and they hold different standards for other people. Just saying. And now end scene. Jocelyn's really happy to be in Port Charles. So it's a total 180 from before. Carly tells Sunny about Oscar. She feels Oscar pressured Jocelyn into drinking. Not really. Sunny didn't think he was that kind of kid, and Carly is intervening. Nell asks Michael what if he's wrong about her, and he's like, I'm not. And I'm just like, you're probably not, but I'm still angry about it. Bobby calls Felicia and wants to move forward. Felicia will access Nell's employee records once Carly calls HR, and she'll track down some numbers on there. Scott wants to be alone, but Lucy promised Serena she wouldn't leave him alone, and he's like, fine, then I'm leaving. But before he does, there's a knock at the door, and it's Serena, and she's immediately crying. And, hi, Serena. Lucy calls to Scott that he should see who's at the door, and it's Serena. It's revealed it's Serena, but we already knew it was Serena. So thank you so much for watching. I'm doing a mass upload spree, so I will continue to do that, and I will see you in 2 seconds. Homo Drive Hospital. Okay, bye.